Hey, welcome back to class. Let's go ahead and bow in, cheer up, bow, good knee. And let's go and get into a sparring stance, and we're gonna start bouncing, moving, and switching. All right, move those arms, move those legs. I've talked about this a lot, we've done this a lot. I want you to just stay active. Remember, the front foot can move forward and backward, back foot can move forward and backward, both feet can move forward and backward. We can move around as we're doing this, all right? Just stay active, and when I say switch, switch, ready, switch. You can move your upper body some, stay slightly bouncing, don't come up high off the ground, just moving around. Switch. When you're doing this, I want kind of every part of your body to be moving around. So even if you move in ways that are kind of not what you would be doing in sparring, switch. Go ahead and do that now. Right? Just trying to warm everything up. Switch. Switch. Keep that balance going. Switch. 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 And switch. All right. Take a breath. Breathe in and out. Let's go to our sumo splits, and let's shift our weight around as we're doing this. Okay, so shift your weight to one side, shift your weight to the other side. Have your elbows and your forearms pressing outwards on your knees. Feel that stretch on your adductor muscles. One's holding your legs together, ones you feel every time we do the splits. It doesn't have to just be weight to side. I can also pull one hip back and pull the other hip back as I do this. Now, you'll notice my knee kind of comes in, but I'm keeping my knees the same distance apart. So if one knee comes in, I push the other one out a little bit further, and it's just kind of the hips shifting as we do this. But the distance between my knees should stay the same. I don't want to allow one to come in and the other one to stay in as well. If one comes in, the other goes out. All right, so they stay relatively open as we're doing this. Bouncing side to side. All right, let's go ahead and let's do a hip hamstring stretch. Let's do a few times on each side. In and out. Out on the actual stretch portion. Breathe in and out. In and out. One more time on each. And switch sides. Same thing. Stretch that hip. And the hamstring. breaths just to help you relax. All right, let's go ahead and stand up, shake out if you need to, do a standing quad stretch. Try not to bounce around too much. Let's try to get our knee, see how my knee is out. Let's try to get it in so it's close to the other knee. And then if I need to, I can even push it backwards a little bit. Okay, but close in, not out here. And other side, same thing. Knees in towards each other, not out apart. All right, let's do 10 stretch kicks. All right, so front stretch kicks on each side. Ready? Begin. 1. Remember, these are nice and relaxed at first, and really the whole time too. Not really putting any power into it. 3. Just trying to get a little hamstring stretch. 4. 5. 6. 7. I'm just taking these steps to add a little momentum. 8, so I don't have to use as much effort. 9. 10. And other side. 1. 2. Remember, your first few are not going to be as high as your last few. 3. And that's okay. 4. I don't want you pulling anything. Just feel a little bit more stretch each time. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. All right. Next thing we're going to do our step and slide footwork on the 8 angles of motion, right? So we've got forward, backward, side, left side, right side, forward, left, forward, right, backward, left, backward, right. We've covered these before. We'll quickly just recover them. But remember, usually whichever foot or whichever direction you're going first, that's the same side foot that's going to go first, okay? So, same here, left lead, forward, front foot goes first, backward, back foot first, left foot first, right foot first, forward, left foot. And we're going to go backward, right foot. Now these are the 2 odd ones when we're going towards the open side, forward. So we're going to step right, and then front foot, and then back, so left, and then front foot. So forward, backward, left, right, forward, left, backward, right, forward, right, backward, left. All right, so let's just practice this. You don't have to stay with me, just kind of walk through stepping in these directions. Try not to elongate too much as you're doing this, right? It should feel relatively natural, just kind of like you're stepping forward, right? But we're reaching first with that front foot. We're reaching with the back foot first. And just flowing right through these motions. Make sure you practice all 8 angles of movement. And switch legs, same thing, right? Forward, backward, side to side. Forward at an angle, backward at an angle, forward at the other angle, backward at the other angle, right? Play around with these, just moving, right? Don't elongate too much, right? We're here, just step and slide, step and slide, step and slide. Idea is just to start to feel relatively natural moving, but we're not really crossing legs at any point. We're just moving in a natural motion, right? This should feel pretty natural, right? We're not quite just stepping past, but small motions. These aren't huge motions. We're not going large. We're moving about 6 to 8 inches each time we do a motion. Okay. A longer step would be if the back foot comes up and then the front foot comes up. We'll get to that later, but that's a longer one. This is just a kind of adjustment step. You're trying to keep your distance with your opponent. If you're not ready to initiate and they're not charging in, if they just start to kind of move forward a little bit, then you just kind of move backwards a little bit. If they move to the side, you move to the side, right? And you're just kind of mirroring them and staying with them and maintaining a distance, okay? So now what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you switch back, and you can be in either leg, right? Pick your dominant side. Most people, it's gonna be with their left leg in the lead, so their strong side's in the back. Right? So what I want you to do is I want you to mirror me. So that means if I move forward, you move backwards. If I move to the right, you move to the left. If I move backwards to the left, you move what? Forward to the right, right? So we're moving in the same but opposite direction, right? And we're keeping that same distance between us. So I'm gonna mix it up now. I'm not just gonna go forward, backward, left, right. I'm gonna mix it up, and I want you to be paying attention to me and stepping with me, okay? So you move back. You move left. You move forward, right. Backward, left. You move right. Now I'm not focusing on what my hands are doing. All we're doing is maintaining distance. Now I'd say this is actually a little bit easier to do in person than it is to do in video. So if you get really good at this, good job. I find a lot of these reactionary drills are significantly easier to do in person. All right, let's go ahead and switch our legs. We're gonna do the exact same thing, and we just have the other lead, right? So if I move forward, you move backwards. If I move backwards, you move forwards. I go forward left, you go backward right. I go backward right, you go forward left, right? You get it. Let's practice it, son. Just stay along with me. Try not to go too fast. But I am mixing it up. Be an easy pattern because I want you to have to pay attention. If you're ever training with a partner, make sure that you mix things up timing wise. Don't speed things up, but mix it up. Like I could wait, and then go, or I could wait and then go, right? I'm not trying to go super fast with the motions, but I'm breaking timing, and then I'm also not creating a pattern. A lot of people create patterns when they train with partners, and then as soon as the pattern's broken, they're just all over the place. Right? Patterns are all right to do at first while you're still trying to understand the motion, but after you understand the motion, you should be able to do it with a broken pattern, but that means you have to train it with a broken pattern. All right, time. Breathe in and out. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do solo drill number 1. We're gonna do all 4 variations, right? This is our 4-count solo drill. All 4 variations, and we're gonna do them 5 times each, okay? First one, front kick. You know how to do these. Ready? Begin. Front kick, drop down in front. Front kick, drop down in front. From the front to the back, from the front to the back. That's 1. All right, still moving around a little bit. You don't have to be running around constantly, but a little bit of motion. 2, kick, kick, kick to the back, front kick to the back. 3, make sure you exhale. 4, 5. Make sure you re-chamber each time. And take a breath. If you need to stretch anything else out, right? My hip flexor is being a little tight today. Not sure why, but I need to stretch that. If you need to, now's your time. All right, our next one is going to be our axe kick. Now, as you know, I don't really like axe kicks too much. I want to use them more as a stretch kick, so if you need to use this as a stretch kick, you don't have to put the power. If you're really flexible and you don't feel like you're gonna hurt yourself, you're welcome to put power, just don't let your heel drive into the ground. If you are hitting the ground with any sort of sound, it needs to be the ball of the foot so then it can then touch the heel to the ground without hurting you. All right, ready? Axe kick. Begin. 1, 2, from the front to the back. Front to the back. 2. Exhale, exhale. 3. 4. 5. And take a breath in. And out. Breathe in. And out. Next thing we're gonna do, roundhouse kick. Ready? Again, a little bit of motion. Hands moving. Hands are relatively up. And 1. Roundhouse kick. Roundhouse. Front to the back. Front to the back. Make sure you exhale on each one of those. 2. 3. 4. 5. Breathe in. And out. Finish up if you're not done. Last one. What is it? Side kick? Yeah, you already know it. All right, side kick variation. Again, moving around a little bit. Make sure that this is not a snappy kick. Heel chambers in front of that sideline, and it is a thrusting kick, and I should be able to still see my target. That might look, it might be more comfortable to look that way. Make sure you look at your foot though, see where you're kicking. Ready? A little bit of movement going on. And 1. 2. 3. 'Make sure that you're kicking above your own belt level. 4. Exhale. Base leg, 180 degrees. Like you're throwing that kick and it's fully extended out. 4. And that was 5, right? I did 3 to the front, I thought, but I said 4. Let's do one more just in case, because, you know, sometimes I can't count. 5 or 6, ready to go. And take a breath. Breathe in and out. Next thing we're gonna do, take it, ill jump. All right, first one with me. trip, Junbei. 1, left low block. 2, forward punch. 3, 4, step forward punch. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, kick, bro. All right, let's change angles. Make sure you're starting and ending in the same spot. Okay. I've got an X here where the mats connect and my right foot's on. I'm gonna make sure that I end in the same spot. I want you to make sure you end in the same spot as well. Again, you might have to elongate your first 2 forward stances and slightly shorten your second 2. Trip, Junbei. Ready? 1, throw your belt. 2, 3, 4. When changing directions, make sure you look first. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Make sure you land that kick. 15, don't fall into it. 16, kick, rechamber, punch. 17, 18, kick. Hey, look, my foot's right on that spot. I pivoted around, right on that X. Exactly where I wanted it. Cherry up. All right, I'm gonna change angles again. I want you again to change angles. Trip, Junbei. Ready? 1, left low block. Throw the tails of your belt. 2, punch right to the center of the chest, right where that black square is. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, left and left, all right, 17, 18, kick, bro. All right, last time, I'm gonna do this one with you at the same time, all together. I'm not gonna count, okay? Trip, Junbei. Take it, Iljon, all together. Siege up. Two. Bro. All right. Did you end at the same time as me? Did you forget where you were? Right. Make sure that you are trying to remember it, right? Sometimes we forget, and that's okay. But make sure you practice it without my count or without looking at me. Try doing it with your eyes closed. Things like that can help you to actually remember it, because sometimes it's really easy to remember a form when you can side glance and see what somebody else is doing. But when you have to completely remember it on your own, it makes it a little bit more difficult, okay? So while I'm doing this at the same time as you, you can side glance, right? And kind of see me in the corner of your eye and see what's going on. And your body mostly remembers it, but if you didn't see anybody else doing it and you've never practiced this alone, sometimes you just start to question yourself, like, hey, was that correct? Right? And having somebody there confirms that you are correct, so it's easy, you can run through it. But when you're sitting there questioning, like, am I sure this is correct? Right? You want to get past that, so you need to be able to practice it on your own and then go back and review and be like, okay, I was correct about this, 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 and this. Oh, that actually wasn't correct. Let's make sure we fix that, right? Doing that will help your forms get a lot better. But if you only ever do them with a reference, you're not going to get them completely ingrained in you. Your body might start to learn it, but you really need to be able to do it basically with your eyes closed. You can be able to close your eyes and just have your body go through, your mind go through what your body should be doing, okay? All right, next thing we're gonna do, well, we're gonna warm up our arms and our shoulders a little bit. So if you need to do that, go ahead and do some arm circles, do some trunk twists, whatever it is you need to do, because we're about to do some punches. And we didn't really stretch our arms too much or warm them up too much. So if you need to do that, feel free to do so now. Also, if you have a bag or something that you can punch, this would be a good time to get that ready. I've talked multiple times about why I like either bag, right? So feel free to do that. You can punch in the air. Sometimes it's better though if you have a bag to punch. Okay, so now we're gonna get into our fighting stance. We're going to do a hook, cross, hook. So last time we did a cross, hook, cross. Now we're doing a hook, cross, hook. Ready? We're gonna do 30 of them on each side. When you're doing this first hook, I want you to still chamber into it, right? So don't just do a hook here without turning in your upper body, right? You're gonna tuck your shoulder, right? So that lead hand can get ready to punch. Hook, cross, hook. I'm gonna turn and raise my heel of the punching side every time. And if you're not putting power in, your belt should still move a little bit, but when you're really putting power in, you'll see it get kind of thrown. And then also make sure the other hand is always going back to the face. Ready? 30 times. We'll start off slow and then probably pick up speed. And begin. 1, set up, hook, cross, hook. 2, hook, cross, shoulder next to your face, hook. 3, hook, cross, hook. 4, 5, 6, 7. If you have a bag, you can punch hard. Don't hit too hard if you're just punching the air. 8. Work on that technique though. Turn your hips, raising the heel. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. Make sure you exhale on each one of these. 16. If your nose isn't clogged, feel free to exhale out your nose. It's gonna be better than exhaling out your mouth. So it's 17, right? 18. But just don't go shooting boogers with everybody. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. Take a breath. Breathe in and out. In and out. Same thing, other side. Get ready? Hands are up. Good. Moving around a little bit. I don't have to be running around and getting myself so exhausted, right? But I do want to stay a little bit active, right? I'm not keeping my feet planted on the ground. I'm not keeping my legs static, right? I'm moving, right? I can shift back and forth. I can shift up and down. And ideally, I'm doing a mixture of both of those. Instead of always doing this or always doing this, right? If you, up and down is probably a little better, especially for Taekwondo. Forward and backward can give you a little bit more power. But forward and backwards is easier to read, and sometimes your opponent can time it while you're on the foot that makes the least amount of sense for you to be able to attack, right? So they charge in, but all your weight's already on this front foot, okay? But they waited for your balance to shift and they started going right here, right as your balance shifted here, but you weren't prepared to actually attack them with that shift, which is why you would be going back and forth, so you can load up on the back leg and then explode to the front leg. But if you're moving here and you didn't initiate that attack, and now it's hard for you to counter with anything on the front, which is usually what you'll be countering with to kind of stop somebody from moving forward. And it's also hard to drive off the back leg, right? So just kind of be aware of that. Shifting forward and backward is good, but you can't do it constantly, or somebody good is just going to read what you're doing and they're going to use it against you. All right, ready? And begin. Hook, cross, hook. Hands come back to the face, heels turn. 2, hook, cross, hook. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other hand at the face. 11, 12, 13, 14. And nice and relaxed if you're punching in the air. 15. Throwing those hips though. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. Take a breath in. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna bring out Bob for this next one, because I like doing this next one a lot more when I get hit something, especially if that something is Bob. All right, so feel free to grab something to hit. You can do this in the air. You will see me do a few of them in the air, but again, I prefer to do this one, and especially on Bob, because he hits me back sometimes, and I forget that people can hit me back, and they will be hitting me back at the same time, so it's a good thing. So quick story, not this Bob, but I had a different one, and it was the first time I ever used him with the arms. It was kind of angled off, and I did this big push kick, and it just kind of like, he went out, and I just kind of put my hands down, and I was about to just go reset, and he comes back and boom, hits me in the face. And I just looked at him and I was like, oh man, I just got hit by a dummy. I can't believe that just happened. It's kind of funny though, but it's something to help you remember they can still. Even this can hit you, and people will be punching at the same time as you. So just being aware of it a little bit more is always a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Right? So let's go ahead and we're gonna practice Solo drill number 3. So we're gonna do this 10 times on each side. So if you don't remember, solo drill number 3 is a scissor switch, front kick, cross, hook, rear kick, kicking with that shin. Again, when I'm kicking on Bob, right, I kick all the way across with the shin, and I want my knee, right, so here's Bob's center line, right where his nose is. I want it on his shoulder line or his hip line, right? See where the hip is? That's where I want my knee at whenever I'm throwing this kick. I want my shin bone angled upwards, so I'm hitting with the actual shin. And then my base leg, I don't want it in the center. If my base foot is on that center line with him, when I do this, it's gonna hit more at that 45, which isn't a bad thing, it's just not what I want for this. I wanna step out to the outside of that shoulder hip line to throw it. Notice he moves backwards when I kick him with this. He's not moving to the side. Right? I don't wanna move into the side, I want him moving backwards whenever you kick with this. And so just kind of keep that in mind. And this one is significantly better if you can do it on a bag, but if you can't, do it in the air. All right, ready? Like I said, I'll do a little bit of both. And 1, scissor switch, cross, hook, round, move back. 2, let's go ahead, let's angle him so he's the same lead as me. 3, 4, scissor switch, cross, hook, round. 5. Alright, maybe you guys didn't notice, and you probably shouldn't because you were kicking, but I did the cross, and I went for the hook, but because I hit him with the cross, he bobbed like this, and then as I was going for my hook, my hand right here got hit by his hand. Right? Again, showing that's probably what's gonna happen in a real fight. They're gonna be swinging something at you. Ideally, your hand's in the right spot, so it hits your hand and it doesn't hit your face. All right, what were we on? Was that 4? We'll say this is 4, even if that was, I don't care. 4, scissor switch, front kick, cross, hook, round. 5, make sure you move out after your kick. 6, Bob keeps running. 7, 8. One thing I noticed last time I kicked Bob, I actually kicked him with the outer portion of my leg, which is a muscle, and I should be kicking with the inner portion of the leg, which is the shin bone. Make sure you're hitting with the shin bone. 9. 10. All right. Take a breath in. Get ready for the other side. I'm gonna do the same thing, just switching sides. Ready? 1, scissor switch, front kick, cross, hook, rear of the kick. So let's say I'm at the same angle as me. 2, switching angles. 3. Whoop. Want to kick the other side. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 8, 9, 10. All right, that's good. Let's move Bob out of the way. You can go ahead and catch your breath or finish up if you are not done. Deep breath in and out. Breathe in and out. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull Bob back out. I'm going to pull the other one back out as well for the next thing that we're going to be doing. This one. And again, if you have a bag, this next piece will be significantly easier if you have a bag. So try to get one. Try to have something that you can kick. Okay, so stand even on me. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get a timer ready. All right, so we're just gonna do our kicking requirement, and we're gonna do it 3 times today. So if you don't remember, our kicking requirement is 15 1-5 roundhouse kicks on each leg, both legs, within 50 seconds, 50 seconds. Okay, so that means you have 25 seconds to do 15 on one leg, and then add the switch in there, and then 25 seconds to do 15 on the other leg. I will be trying to be a pacer. The first time I might go a little bit slow and then have to speed it up on you. So if you can stay at my pace though, you're gonna be able to make the time. Again, I might speed it up on you a little bit though. So try to stay ahead of me, but try not to fall behind me, okay? We're gonna do this 3 times. Let's go ahead and I'll start off on this bag here. Keys to this and things that you have to do. This base leg has to turn over 90 degrees, right? This is 90 degrees, not good. Over 90 degrees. It's gotta go over 90 degrees, okay? I have to kick and bring the leg back behind me. So I'm not going to kick and drop it back. See how it's in front of this base leg? It's gotta go behind the base leg, and the base leg has to counter rotate, right? So I can't just do this. Doesn't count, right? You've gotta have the rotation and the counter rotation with every kick, right? Those are the keys. And then the last thing, right, I got this at my belt level, so I have to kick higher than my own belt level. On Bob, it's gonna be where the black begins. So again, I have to kick higher than my own belt level. All right, those are the keys for this. Those are the things you have to be able to do. 15 on each side within 50 seconds, 50 seconds. Ready? I'm gonna mark, get set, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and switch. We're a little bit ahead of pace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slow down. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 3, 2, 1. Hopefully you're able to make that. Again, if you're going at the same pace that I was going at the very beginning, you had no problem making it. Right? We actually started out a little fast and decided to slow down a little bit at the end in case you started getting tired. But better to go that way, go fast, and then have the room to slow down rather than starting slow and then being like, oh crap, I really have to hurry up, but I'm already tired, right? So a little bit faster, usually better. Make sure you're still doing pretty good kicks, right? Understand they get a little bit sloppier. At this speed, ideally they're not too sloppy, but I also understand that you're still white belts and we're trying to earn our yellow belt. So try not to make them too sloppy, but as long as you're hitting those key points, rotating over 90 degrees, kicking, bringing it all the way back behind, and counter rotating and kicking above the belt, right, you're good. Just make sure you're not kicking with like the inside of the foot or something, right? It's not a kick like that. If you rotate the foot, you shouldn't have that problem. It should just automatically fix itself on that. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. Again, I'm gonna be a pacer, so try to stay above my pace. Try to go a little bit faster than me. If you go a little bit faster than me, you won't have any problems, okay? And and I'll tell you if I'm gonna speed up or if I'm gonna slow down my pace. So you'll just be aware of that. All right, Bob this time. On your mark, get set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. A little bit ahead pace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, we're going too fast. 12, 13, 14, 15. 3, 2, 1, 0. Time. All right, again, if you stayed at my pace, you beat it, no problem, right? It wasn't difficult for you if you could stay at my pace. If you're just following behind me, right, practice it a little bit more. Right? The more you do it, the better you get. Who would have thought? Okay, we're gonna do it one more time. Just gonna move this back a little bit closer to me. Catch your breath if you need to. And get ready. Give you a few more seconds to catch your breath. Your mark. Get set. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Switch, still ahead of pace. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay ahead of me. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 3, 2, 1. Time. Great. Were you able to make it? Hopefully. Right. So, catch your breath if you need to. Just gonna move these guys out away just a little bit. Take a few deep breaths in and out. Breathe in and out. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quickly recap what we went over today. We started off with our warm-up. After we did our warm-up, we went to our 8 angles of movement. So our forward, backward, side, side, forward left, backward right, forward right, backward left. We did it on both sides. And then we went to a mirroring drill where if I stepped forward, you would step back. If I stepped backwards, you'd step forward. If I stepped forward to the right, you would step backward to the left, right? So we're keeping that same distance and just mirroring each other with the movement, okay? And again, we did that on the other side as well. After that, we did solo drill number 1, all 4 variations. And solo drill number 1 is our 4-count solo drill. So with the front kick to the front, back to the front leg to the back, front leg to the back, and then we did that with our axe kick, then we did it with our roundhouse kick, then we did it with our side kick. After that, we did Taekwondo Iljong 4 times, facing 4 different angles. From there, we went and did our hook, cross, hook, focusing on hands coming back to our face, belt turning, and raising the heel of the punching leg each time. Okay? After that, we did solo drill number 3, which was our scissor switch, front kick, cross, hook, roundhouse with that shin, making sure that the knee is slightly higher than the ankle, so we're hitting with our shin bone, and we were impacting in a forward motion, not a 45 or a sideways into the motion, right? If we hit a bag, the bag should move straight back and not off to the side whenever we're doing that kick. After that, we did our kicking requirements. We just did that on the bags, which was kicking 15 roundhouse kicks on each leg in under 50 seconds, making sure that we had at least 90-degree pivot each time. We had to counter pivot. The leg had to go back behind the base leg, and then we had to kick above our belt level each time. All right, hopefully you enjoyed that. Let's go ahead and let's cool down a little bit. So let's start off with some sumo splits. You can shift them around a little bit if you'd like. drop down into our splits. Try to relax. Take some deep breaths here. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Goal is to relax as much as possible. The more you can relax, the further in you can get. If you're constantly like, oh, I'm in pain, if you've ever been to a live Taekwondo school and they make people do the splits, there's always like two people. They're just like screaming out in pain, like, and those people are the ones that are not getting much better, right? Because they're sitting there and they're just focusing on how much it hurts instead of just trying to relax their way through it, right? Accepting it and just going in a little bit further. If they sit there and scream and shout and yeah, they're saying, oh, I'm pushing myself, that's why I'm in so much pain. And they shouldn't be in that much pain, right? They really shouldn't be. Right? Those people, a lot of the time, they just want attention. But just take some deep breaths, relax, and try to go a little bit further. All right, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do seated splits now. So sit down, seated splits, and I want you to lean forward as much as you can. If you can get your elbows on the mat, awesome. If you can get your chest on the mat, better. Up to you. Right? You can walk your fingers forward as much as you can. Drop down as much as you need to. Just lean forward. Feel that tightness. Feel the tension. Take some breaths. And sink into it. Right? Remember, you should not be in pain, but it shouldn't be super comfortable. If it's comfortable, you're not pushing yourself. Try to identify which muscles are actually being stretched here too, right? It could be different on each leg. For me, it's different on each leg, that's for sure. I can definitely tell it's different on my right leg than it is on my left leg. Okay. My left leg is right up here, a bit closer to my knee, and my right leg is right at my hip attachment, right? So it's a lot in closer, and it's a little bit more towards the bottom side too, instead of even towards the inside, and that's what I'm feeling. It's tightened there, so can be different. That's okay. Try to just be aware of these. Try to tell those muscles to relax as you take some deep breaths in and out. And yes, I know this is easier said than done, right? I've been doing it long enough. I understand how uncomfortable it is, right? Don't think that because I can go down further than you that I don't feel comfort. The only people that don't feel the discomfort are the people that can go straight down into the splits completely and don't have to use their hands and could even go further than a normal split, right? Those are the only people that don't feel discomfort while doing this. I'm not one of them. I'm pretty close to the splits, but I'm not completely there. So I also feel uncomfortable every single time we're doing this, right? I'm uncomfortable. And I want you to just be aware of that. I'm not special that way. I'm usually pretty uncomfortable while doing this. But there's no reason that I need to sit there and show it or be like, I'm in so much pain, right? Just breathe, relax. It's part of the process. That's how you get better. Let's go ahead and let's raise our elbows up if you had them down. If you didn't have them down, just finger walk a little bit more forward. Right? For me, this changes the muscles a little bit. I feel a little bit more discomfort. It's fine. Let's hold it for a few more seconds. Let's take some deep breaths. Breathe in and out. Let's go ahead with our arms forward. Let's pick a side and let's hand walk towards that side. Put one hand over. Try to get your chest close to the leg, as close as you can. I understand sometimes your ribs and your hips kind of collide. I don't want you to adjust though. I want you to stay in that same position. I know that we can get our chest closer if we come up, adjust our hips slightly, and then lean forward. I'm aware of that. I don't want that happening right now. The reason why is because I want to hit more of the adductors now. This hits more of the adductors. If we do that shift, it'll hit more hamstrings, which is good to stretch, but sometimes you have to focus on a specific thing at a time. back to the center and walk all the way to the other side. Also gets a nice little stretch on the side and lower back there. Take a few deep breaths here. Back to the front. And walk a little bit more forward. Back. All right. Chances are, if you stuck with me that whole time, you didn't let your legs slide in. Now they're kind of stuck in this position, right? Use your arms. Try to get your heels off the ground. And slide them in. Bring them in. And butterfly a little bit. Makes it easier to stand up afterwards, honestly. For me, if I just went and tried to jump up from that, I can't do that anymore. Maybe like 10, 12 years ago I could have done that, but not anymore. All right, let's go ahead. Let's plant one foot down. One hand protects the head, other hand's up or on the ground. Raise the hip up, raise the foot up. Technical stand up. Ooh. All right, let's shake it out. Let's do some modified hip twist. Again, another thing just to help you be able to move again afterwards. Your hips probably are a little bit tight, a little bit upset at you for what you just did to them. It's okay. And let's shake the legs out. And trip, bow, kunye. Great job in the class, you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. And I will see you.